There comes a moment in life when silence becomes louder than words, when the choices we make echo back to us in the quiet of the night. After she hurts a good man, after she walks away from someone who offered loyalty, peace, and genuine love, something begins to shift deep within her. It's not always immediate, but slowly, steadily, three powerful fears begin to take root, and they don't let her rest easily. The first realization often arrives quietly, but it carries immense weight, and that is the understanding of what was truly lost. A good man is not always the one who creates constant excitement or drama, but the one who shows up consistently, offers stability, listens without judgment, and stands firm even when life becomes difficult. These qualities may seem ordinary in the moment, yet with time, they reveal themselves as rare and deeply valuable. When she reflects on her past, she begins to see the difference between fleeting attention and genuine care, between temporary attraction and lasting connection. This awareness can bring a mix of regret and clarity, but it also opens the door to growth and self-improvement. In many ways, this realization mirrors the journey of maintaining health, especially as we grow older. People often chase quick results, extreme diets, or intense routines, only to realize later that true wellness comes from simple, consistent habits. A balanced diet made up of natural, wholesome foods provides long-term strength, just as a good man provides long-term emotional security. Fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and adequate hydration may not feel exciting, but they build a strong foundation for a healthier life. Similarly, the steady presence of a loyal partner may not always feel thrilling, but it nurtures peace, trust, and emotional stability over time. As this realization deepens, it encourages a shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on what was missing or what seemed more appealing at the time, the mind begins to appreciate the value of consistency. This is a powerful lesson not only in relationships, but also in daily living. Small, repeated actions shape our future more than occasional bursts of effort. A short walk every day, light stretching in the morning, or even a few minutes of mindful breathing can gradually transform physical and mental well-being. These simple routines, when practiced consistently, create a sense of discipline and inner calm that strengthens resilience. With this understanding, regret can begin to transform into wisdom. It becomes less about dwelling on the past and more about using those experiences to make better choices moving forward. For older adults, this shift is especially meaningful because it reinforces the idea that growth does not have an expiration date. Every day presents an opportunity to rebuild habits, improve health, and cultivate a more positive outlook on life. By focusing on consistency in both relationships and personal care, a stronger sense of self-worth begins to emerge. This awareness also brings a renewed sense of responsibility toward one's own well-being. Just as a good partner deserves appreciation, the body and mind deserve care and respect. Choosing nourishing meals, staying active in gentle and sustainable ways, and maintaining a positive mindset are all acts of self-respect. Over time, these choices restore confidence and create a sense of balance that replaces regret with purpose. The second fear grows slowly but deeply, and it centers around the haunting question of whether that kind of love will ever come again. When someone lets go of a good man, someone who offered stability, respect, and genuine care, there is often an assumption that something equal or better will appear in the future. But as time passes and experiences unfold, that belief can begin to fade. Encounters may feel temporary, connections may lack depth, and the contrast becomes more noticeable. This is when the fear starts to settle in, not as panic, but as a quiet uncertainty that lingers in everyday moments. It is the realization that real love is not easily replaced, and that what once felt ordinary was actually something rare and meaningful. This fear, however, is not meant to weaken a person. It can become a powerful force for awareness and transformation. Instead of focusing only on loss, it encourages a deeper understanding of what truly matters in building lasting connections. It shifts attention away from surface-level attraction and toward qualities like patience, kindness, emotional support, and shared values. For older adults, this perspective is especially important because relationships at this stage of life are less about proving something and more about finding peace, companionship, and mutual respect. The fear of not finding love again can either create anxiety or inspire a new approach to life, one that prioritizes self-care, balance, and emotional growth. Taking care of one's physical health plays a significant role in easing this fear. When the body feels strong and energized, the mind becomes more stable and hopeful. Simple habits can make a meaningful difference. Engaging in light physical activity, such as a daily walk in fresh air or gentle stretching, helps release tension and improve mood. Movement does not have to be intense to be effective. Consistency is far more important than intensity. Alongside this, maintaining a balanced diet with nourishing food supports overall well-being. Choosing fresh ingredients, reducing processed meals, and staying hydrated can improve energy levels and mental clarity, making it easier to face emotional challenges with strength and confidence. As the fear begins to transform, it can lead to a healthier mindset about relationships and life in general. Instead of believing that happiness depends on finding someone else, there is a growing understanding that fulfillment starts from within. This does not mean giving up on love, but rather approaching it from a place of self-respect and emotional stability. When a person invests in their own growth, they become more aware of their worth and less likely to settle for less than they deserve. This shift creates a sense of empowerment, where the future no longer feels uncertain but open with possibilities. Over time, the fear of never finding that kind of love again can evolve into a quiet confidence. It becomes a reminder to value authenticity, to nurture meaningful connections, and to continue improving oneself regardless of past mistakes. By focusing on healthy habits, both physically and emotionally, a person builds a life that is fulfilling on its own, while remaining open to the possibility of genuine love, returning in a more aligned and meaningful way. The third fear is the most profound because it cannot be avoided or distracted away, and that is the fear of facing oneself. When everything becomes quiet and there are no more external distractions, a person is left alone with their own thoughts, decisions, and patterns. This is where true reflection begins. After hurting a good man, the mind naturally starts to revisit past actions, words, and choices, trying to understand what went wrong. At first, there may be resistance, a desire to justify behavior or shift blame, but over time, honesty becomes unavoidable. This internal confrontation is not easy, yet it is one of the most powerful moments in personal growth. Facing oneself requires courage because it means accepting imperfections without running away from them. It means recognizing emotional habits, understanding triggers, and taking responsibility for actions that may have caused pain. This fear often keeps people restless at night because it challenges the version of themselves they once believed in. However, within this discomfort lies an opportunity to rebuild a stronger and wiser identity. For older adults, this stage of reflection is not something to fear but to embrace, as it offers a chance to realign life with deeper values, inner peace, and emotional maturity. This process of self-awareness is closely connected to lifestyle choices. When the mind is overwhelmed with stress or negativity, it becomes harder to reflect clearly. That is why caring for the body plays such an important role in emotional healing. Simple habits like maintaining a nutritious diet can have a direct impact on mental clarity. Consuming fresh, balanced meals rich in natural ingredients supports brain function and stabilizes mood. Reducing excessive sugar and processed foods can help minimize emotional highs and lows, making it easier to approach self-reflection with calmness rather than anxiety. In addition to healthy eating, light physical activity can become a powerful tool for emotional release. Gentle exercises such as walking, stretching, or even slow, mindful movements allow tension to leave the body. These moments of movement create space for thoughts to settle, making it easier to observe oneself without judgment. Even a short daily routine can build a sense of discipline and self-respect, reinforcing the idea that change is possible at any stage of life. The body and mind work together, and when one is nurtured, the other begins to heal. As self-reflection deepens, the focus gradually shifts from guilt to growth. Instead of being trapped in past mistakes, there is a growing desire to learn from them and move forward with greater awareness. Developing a positive mindset becomes essential in this phase. This does not mean ignoring past actions, but rather choosing to see them as lessons instead of permanent labels. Gratitude can play a key role here, helping to redirect attention toward what still exists and what can still be built. Each new day becomes an opportunity to practice patience, kindness, and self-control. Over time, the fear of facing oneself begins to lose its intensity and transforms into a sense of inner strength. The person who once avoided reflection now becomes someone who seeks understanding and growth. This shift creates a deeper connection with oneself, leading to better decisions, healthier relationships, and a more balanced life. By embracing self-awareness, maintaining supportive habits, and nurturing a calm and positive mindset, it becomes possible to turn even the most uncomfortable truths into a foundation for lasting personal transformation. The fourth realization grows out of everything that has been felt and understood, and it centers on the quiet decision to rebuild life with intention, discipline, and self-respect. After fear, regret, and deep reflection, there comes a turning point where a person no longer wants to remain stuck in the past, but instead begins to focus on what can still be created. This is where true transformation begins, not through sudden changes or unrealistic expectations, but through small, consistent actions that slowly reshape both the mind and the body. It is the understanding that no matter what has happened before, the present moment still holds power, and the future is still open to change. Rebuilding starts with daily habits, the simple routines that often go unnoticed but carry the greatest impact over time. Waking up with a sense of purpose, choosing nourishing foods, and committing to light physical activity can create a strong foundation for a healthier and more balanced life. For older adults, this is especially important because the body responds best to gentle, consistent care rather than extreme efforts. A short morning walk, a few minutes of stretching, or even mindful breathing can bring a sense of calm and clarity that sets the tone for the entire day. These actions may seem small, but when repeated regularly, they restore energy, improve mood, and build a sense of control over one's life. Nutrition also plays a key role in this process of rebuilding. Choosing fresh, natural foods over processed options helps the body regain strength and stability. Meals rich in vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and whole grains provide the nutrients needed to support both physical health and mental well-being. Drinking enough water, reducing sugar intake, and maintaining regular eating patterns contribute to a more balanced internal state. When the body feels lighter and more energized, the mind becomes more focused and positive, making it easier to move forward without being weighed down by past experiences. At the same time, rebuilding life is not only about physical habits, but also about developing a stronger and more positive mindset. Letting go of self-judgment and replacing it with self-awareness allows growth to happen naturally. Instead of replaying past mistakes with guilt, there is a shift toward learning from them and using those lessons to make better decisions. This mental shift creates a sense of peace, where the past is no longer a burden, but a teacher. Practicing gratitude can further strengthen this mindset, helping to focus on what is still present and what can still be achieved. As this new way of living takes shape, confidence begins to return, not as arrogance, but as quiet self-assurance. There is a growing belief that life can still be meaningful, fulfilling, and even joyful, regardless of age or past choices. Relationships, if they come again, are approached with greater wisdom and care, but even without them, there is a sense of completeness that comes from within. This stage is about creating a life that feels stable, healthy, and aligned with one's values. Over time, this commitment to rebuilding transforms fear into strength and regret into purpose. Each day becomes an opportunity to move forward with intention, to care for the body, to nurture the mind, and to live in a way that reflects growth and self-respect. What once felt like an ending begins to reveal itself as a new beginning, shaped by awareness, discipline, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters.